Okay, guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Mr. DB, and as always, we talk about Wassce and Wassce related issues on this channel. Today, we're going to talk about how to pass your biology practicals. Especially, a lot of people make mistakes in their practicals and they think they've written something, but when the results come, it doesn't turn out to be what they expect. So today, we're going to mention some key factors about the biology practicals. I'm sure most of you know about it, and there are some ones that the examiners really check that you guys don't know. So we also discuss about that. So it will be in three parts. We talk about the drawings first, the drawing aspect. We talk about the writing aspect, and we talk about the graph aspect. My wife doesn't normally bring graph again, but in case it comes in your ear. So, but also it's also good for if you come to writing of deck. I advise you to watch this video because I'll also talk about how to write deck practicals. And it's not the same way writing deck practicals is not entirely the same as writing WASI or SC practicals. There's a little bit of difference between them. So let's get started. So the drawing aspect. Biological drawings are not like our normal everyday drawing that we draw. So when somebody draws, the person can shade and bring about of tones and staple and bring kind of stippling inside. But for biological drawing, shading is not allowed. I'm sure most of you know this very well. So there's no shading, there's no stippling, there's no coloring. It's just your hand and your pencil. So also in biological drawing, for your titles, if possible, write the state or the view, write a view of the diagram. So maybe a drawing of the lateral view of a maze or longitudinal section of a maze. That's also one aspect. And two, also drawing, every drawing must have a title and magnification. Most people draw and they forget to add a title. So every drawing has to have a title and magnification. And we are going to talk about guidelines next. Most people do a lot of mistakes with their guidelines, which can deduct marks. So when you're drawing your guidelines, the guidelines must be drawn using a ruler and they must not cross each other. Just like the diagram of the maze I've shown you, where all the guidelines are straight and they are not crossing each other. They do not we don't use arrows for your guidelines. We don't use arrows to point to the labels. We only use straight lines. Make sure your guidelines touch the structure being labeled. So if you are labeling the leaf, make sure your guideline touches the leaf. You shouldn't be just pointing anywhere in the air. You should touch the leaf or whatsoever is touching. Then your guidelines should be drawn carefully. So you should be drawing carefully and neatly. Also, do not use curly brackets for your guidelines. You don't use curly brackets over there. Just straight lines. You see this same diagram, the internode over there. They didn't use curly bracket over there. They use kind of a bracket, a square bracket, something like that. They didn't use a curly bracket. Also, do not use zigzag as your guidelines and do not use strokes for your strokes. Sorry, do not use strokes for your guidelines. Do not allow your guidelines to cross each other. This will bring confusion to other people, especially the examiner, and they can mark you down for that. So that's for the guidelines. So also your labels must be written horizontally. Your labels must be written horizontally. You can't label vertically or diagonal. All your labels must be written horizontally. And also, you're supposed to draw in a range. Sometimes they give you a range. Drawing, draw between 8 centimeters to 10 centimeters. Please remember to draw in your range. Don't forget. Always when you're drawing, maybe take your ruler then check to make sure you draw in a range. Because the examiners they check the range before they mark. So please don't forget to draw in your range. Also, show details. You have to show your details when you are drawing. You see the structure of the maze over there. The maze has what? Has a prop root. So you have to show that the maze have a prop root. You also have to show the fluorescence male part. And all the details carry marks also. Maybe a lizard. A lizard has scales on it. So you have to show that. So every biological drawing has a small kind of details. Let's take a cockroach like this. The antenna of a cockroach is longer than its body, or as long as its body. So when you're drawing a cockroach, make sure the antenna of the cockroach is what is also long. Don't go and draw the antenna small. That's it's also a detail that carries marks that most people don't know. So please make every biological drawing that you are drawing. Please find out about the details and make sure you draw the details. Okay. So our next one will be know your symmetries. I will advise you to know your symmetries of your specimens. So please, if you don't know your symmetries, go and take a test. You can relearn it again. Then also drawing. So when you're labeling, or when you're titling your work, it's advisable to title your work with the name of the specimen instead of the original specimen. So the maze I have over there, the diagram or the drawing of a specimen C or maize plant. The reason why, or a mature maize plant, the reason why it's advisable is because you might not know the specific specimen they're asking you to draw. So it's just advisable to just write drawing of a of a what specimen C, a diagram of specimen C. That will keep you on a safer side than you guessing what the actual specimen is. If you know, fine, you can write it, but it's not advisable to write the actual name of a specimen in your title. Okay. Also, when you are drawing cat objects, sometimes you draw cat objects like the image of the orange you see over there. Use double line for the outer layers. Every cat object or cat um, object or specimen they tell you to draw, please use double line for the outer layer. If it's a flower, if it's an orange, whatever it or if it's a fruit, please use double lines. They check for that. All those type of things are small details. The double lines show that what the object has been cut. Okay, so that will be for the drawing. If there's anything, I'll add it in the upcoming. So now let's talk about the writing aspect. So for biological practicals, we write what we see. Okay, we write what we see in biological practicals. So if they're giving you a practical work, you see a green leaf, you write, or they tell you identify the features of this specimen A, and specimen A is a green leaf. So you might write it has a green leaf. Okay, that's just simple. Rated to write adaptive features of it. So possesses green leaves which contains chlorophyll for photosynthesis. You can't see they assume you can't see, or you don't have a microscope to see the chlorophyll. The chlorophyll is the one that gives the color of a green leaf, but you don't see it. So you write a green color which indicates what chlorophyll for photosynthesis. You can't write chlorophyll for it has chlorophyll for photosynthesis. Okay, so that's one type of biological particles. So for novdec aspects, also you don't see the green aspects inside the the work they've given to you. So it's not advisable to write if you give me a leave. It's not advisable to write that. Most novdec is black and white, so it's not advisable for you to choose that adaptive features. There are a lot of adaptive features you can choose. Okay, maybe a broad leaf because you can see the broadness of a leaf. Okay, that's also one. And if you have they give a diagram of a hat like this. In object, you can't go and write it has liquid or liquid around it for lubrication. You can't write that because you don't see the liquid. Even though they might draw it, you don't see liquid. So you just wrote. You make sure you write something that what you can actually see. Okay, so if you see it, then you write it. That's how biological practical is. Biology practical is like. So also, we never use help. Don't never in your life in biological practical use help. Okay, use possesses. Maybe possesses with six legs. Sometimes we don't use helps. Okay, we don't write. Maybe they tell you to give an adaptive feature. We don't see its legs help it to walk. So possesses leg for walking. Okay, that's one thing about biological particle. So we don't use help. Also, learn how to spell. Spelling is one of the key factors in biology practicals. So please learn how to spell. These are some of the words that students actually get wrong. There are a lot of them, so please go and search on them. Also, I've already talked about the green leaves part. So also the adaptive features. Adaptive features are features and the functions. Adaptive features, most students just write the features instead of the functions and the features. So please remember that adaptive features are the the features of the animal, then its function, the function of the feature. Please. Mostly they carry 2 marks. So when you just state one, you only get what? One. Also want to talk about this one. Um the presence of exoskeleton. People write presence of exoskeleton made of chitin. You don't actually know that exoskeleton is made of chitin, even though you know it theoretically. In Pascal's, you don't they assume you can't see about chitin. You just write presence of what exoskeleton, because the exoskeleton is the one that gives it a shape. So that one you can defend yourself about that. But you can't defend yourself that you saw the chitin. Okay. So just write presence of exoskeleton. That's simple like that. So these are some of the key words that then gets wrong. And also please remember to use technical words when you're writing biology practicals. So technical words are also advisable by. Okay. Next, we are going to talk about the graph in biology. Why doesn't nobody bring graphs again? But in case you get it in your ear. So you must label your graph with a title. Your graph must have a title, please. Show your keys. So when you use a star for your graph, this indicates what the dot means. Sometimes in biological drawing, we have two types of indicators, a dot and the star. So this indicates which one is for which. Okay. Then most biological drawings, we connect points from we connect the indicators. If we see an indicator, we connect the lines from one point to another. We don't connect just like how the stock market rises. Yes. We don't connect it like how we are doing linear regression. We don't do that. So in biology, we connect one point to the next point, one point to the next point using the a ruler. Yes, using a ruler. Then label your parts. Then we have to have a title. That's all for the graphs for now. So if there's any question you have, please leave it in the comment section. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, then share to your friends. Comment if I've said anything wrong that I need correction about, and I'll make a video about that. There are more and more rules of that, but just the one that most students get wrong, the one I'm talking about. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. My name is Mr. B, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one.